Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm Frankie Sound with my co-host here, Mark. Yes, we have a lot to talk about. But first, a quick announcement about the blog page. We're going to bring that right up. And about the blog page, I kind of spruce it up a little bit, make it a little bit fancier. You want to get in touch with us? Right on top is Gmail, should I say, and also a website. And we're going to scroll down a little bit on the right-hand side. We got brand new widgets. We still got the Black Talk Radio, which has been put on hold. We switched radio stations. We joined up with Talk Shoe radio station. I know it's supposed to be a variation of Talk Show, but they like to call it Talk Shoe. And we're going to start doing some shows there. The first show was going to be in remembrance to Robin Williams. The next show will be me being a background actor. This past Thursday, I managed to work on The Blacklist and work with James Spader. That's right, the voice of Voltron. So, day in the life of a background actor. So, those are going to be the next two shows. And then, hopefully we'll be back in Black Talk Radio. But those two widgets right now, I got a promo playing and talking about the shows that are coming up. So, that's official. Okay, so right now we're going to start with some reviews, a lot of movies to catch up on, but first I want to ask Mark what would be his favorite movie of Robin Williams. Let me show you this here. This is one of the many papers. He's all over the magazines and everything. I love Robin Williams. I grew up with him on Mork and Mindy, which was a spin-off of Happy Days, and and he came a long way of getting 4 nominations, winning an Oscar. My favorite movie was Miss Doubtfire, which he won a Tony Award. Why he did not get nominated for an Oscar is beyond me. Not a Tony Award, a Golden Globe Award. Okay, but of course, if you won an Oscar for Good Will Hunting, Best Supporting Actor, and my other two would be The Birdcage, and of course, Good Morning Vietnam, and Aladdin. Okay, so Mark, what would be your favorite movie?
You just hit the nail on the head. I was going to say the same thing. I was going to say Good Will Hunting, his best piece. I mean, after that, I said to myself, yeah, this guy has a wide range of, being a comedian and being somebody serious. You saw him in that movie, in that heartfelt talk he had with the actor. What's his name? Diamond.
Which movie?
Good Will Hunting.
Oh, Mark Damon.
Mark Damon.
Yes.
He was brilliant. Like, he was saying how he would easily end him. Mm-hmm. When I saw that level of anger coming from him, I said, wow, this guy has a different side of him. And also Aladdin. He was hysterical on Aladdin. I mean, they said some people who watched Aladdin were laughing so hard they missed a lot of the jokes that Robin Williams even put into there. Yeah. And it was just going over their heads. And the good thing is, thanks to DVD, they were able to buy it and tune it back to see all the jokes they missed.
Rewind just to go over the jokes. Yeah.
Oh,
I remember seeing that in the movie house. People were so busy laughing. Yeah. And the manic speech that he had, one line after another and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was a boom, 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 boom.
And as a matter of fact, a lot of documentary footage has been showing up on the internet. And they had to rewrite the script according to him because he was improvising a lot of the lines and stuff like that. Yep. So that's
he made the film.
He made the film.
That was a film.
The Birdcage was which was a remake of a French film, and it was turned out to be better than the actual original film. Right. A lot of times the remakes fall flat in the face.
Right.
They brought that up. There's a movie that just came out. People were asking me. You talk about anger management with Robin Williams. He did a film about a year ago. A film in Brooklyn by Brooklyn Bridge on Dumbo. The film was called The Last Angry Man in Brooklyn.
Oh, right. Okay, I read about that.
With Mila Kunis. The problem what happened with that movie, technically, was they had money problems on the budget, and it was really chopped up at the very end. It was a kind of like rush in production, and the movie kind of suffered. And as a matter of fact, some scenes were kind of cut down. The movie actually came out about an hour 45 minutes. And if you can find it on Netflix or wherever you can find it, the movie actually cut down to less than 90 minutes.
Whoa.
And there's a scene where he's explaining to Mila Kunis about a certain situation. I want to spoil it for you. And I was saying, what situation was that? It was cut out of the movie, but he's still explaining to her at the end of the movie. So the movie kind of suffered, and it got released, a limited release, and it didn't do very good. But the reason I recommend this film is as a dramedy. It's funny that he was told by Mila Kunis that you're going to die in 90 minutes. Okay, it's a little far-fetched concept. It was a remake of a Jewish Israeli film, I believe. Okay, a European film. Let's put it that way. But he still had that manic presence. A lot of people said he got depressed maybe because of his heart surgery and stuff like that. Now we found out that he, because of Parkinson's disease, that made him even more depressed, you know. But you got to see
his show being canceled.
His show
he had a
being
show
canceled.
on CBS.
Yeah, well, that show wasn't very good. They did him a favor, but I hate to say that. But you got to see his energy, you know. And he played like an angry guy. I got 90 minutes. Why do you run from me? I definitely recommend it as a curiosity piece, as a 2 for Tuesdays. It's one of the last films he did.
Right. That's a very good thing about comedians. Certain comedians, they seem very angry, so that when you put them in a role of an angry man, it's just incredible. They could just pull up all that frustration, like
right.
One of the all-time best comedy actors who was a friend of Robin Williams. What was his name? Who was a very good friend of Robin Williams. Billy Crystal. Billy
Crystal, right.
Oh, they said the rage that comes out of this guy is amazing.
Right.
Jesus.
And here's another thing. Billy Crystal, Whoopi Goldberg, and Robin Williams did a thing about comedy relief. And I'm very surprised that the day they made that announcement about his tragedy, a lot of them did not, announce that about his comedy relief. I mean, I think they were a little bit slow in the draw. All three comedians got together, and they really went out of the way for the homeless and the feed feed the poor and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I think it was a great cause, and they kind of missed the boat on that. It was shame on them. But anyway, and also a little trivia. Yes, he was trying to get the role as the Riddler before Christopher Nolan decided to go with the Joker, believe it or not. And the studio said, you're too kind of old. So you can understand somebody's popular and famous like that, and a lot of things that didn't go the way that he wanted it to. We're not experts. We're not psychologists. All we know is it's a tragic way to go, but when I'm going to do a half-hour special on my radio show, we're going to be positive and talking about all the good things he did, all the great movies he did, and everything. And I promise not to mention Popeyes or toys.
Oh, great.
Okay. Now, talk about anger management, okay? How is Sylvester Stallone going to feel after this weekend, considering it was already the predictions of box office that Expendables is only going to make up to $15 million for this whole weekend?
Wow. That's a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, we all know Ninja Turtles came out really huge last weekend. Is dropping down to 25. It lost already. It's going to lose 70% of its box office intake. Guardians of the Galaxy has been around for a couple of weeks already, but it's still going to make 20 million. Not too bad. But number 3 is the Expendables, and well, I saw the movie. I loved it. What do you think, Mark?
I thought it was great. I think it's definitely harkens to the old movies of the 70s and the 80s, but I guess these are sort of more from the men. People who like Predator, people who are into Schwarzenegger and Stallone fans. It's really about them. And I think there's very few people like around that era who still enjoy the films. Because like we've been saying thus far, the theaters have gone way to, making these melodrama films for the young female audience, like Divergent, Hunger Games. Them making a film about the Expendables, like Schwarzenegger, I think it's great. I love seeing these films. I will continue to patronize these films, but the problem is, it's going by way of the television. No, it's not really building an audience for itself.
Where's the audience? That's the problem. As a matter of fact, Jackie Chan was offered for number 2 and 3, and now they're offering him Expendables number 4. Now, people ask me, okay, so what's going on if the movie's bombing over here? Again, we all know that Transformers 4 made over $1 billion only because of one market, China. Okay? If you take away China, which made over $350 million, something like that, if you take away the profits of China, Transformers 4 would never hit $1 billion. Okay? In the U.S. alone, here's another film that has not crossed the 300 million mark. It's about maybe 240, 250, almost the same thing as Captain America. All these films are not crossing over because the audience is not showing up. We know that. But in the case of Transformers 4, bragging rights by a movie studio saying, hey, we crossed the $1 billion mark only because of one territory. That's China.
Because it was actually filmed in China. I think that's why If anything, maybe that's why they showed up.
That helped a lot, and well, that's what they Expendables #4. That's what they're hoping for. The last 3 movies did really huge in Europe, and that's why they keep making these. So they hopefully they're looking my bomb over here, but the U.S. market is not #1 like it used to be. So now they can push Expendables 4 in Europe, and that goes really good like the other films. They're finally gonna have Jackie Chan in #4. That's what I'm hoping for, to see Steven Seagal and a bunch of other guys who still haven't seen these movies. My favorite punchline is Bruce Willis, who didn't want to do this movie because he wanted to get paid $1 million a day. And there's a punchline in the movie. Harrison Ford goes, I'm the new guy who's taking over for Bruce Willis.
Right.
And Stallone said, where's the other guy? And Harrison Ford looks right in the camera. He's out of the picture. That was hysterical.
Yep.
Okay. We don't want to say any more. If you like the other pictures, what's up with the PG-13? They're trying to get the audience. I had to cut it down.
A wider audience.
But it doesn't make any a difference, because if you want to see, there is. I don't want to create some spoilers. Wesley Snipes goes mano a mano against one guy, and you can tell there's a little cut in there. He snaps the guy's neck. He snaps his neck, but you don't see it on screen. That was a little editing, PG-13. I say this: there's always a director's cut on the Blu-ray/DVD. I saw this, and I will see the movie again. Okay, I'll just wait for the Blu-ray for the unrated version. No problem. Everybody's making a big deal. Oh, the movie got cut down. There's no language. There's no violence. There's always the second option of Blu-ray director's cut. And we 2 films I forgot to mention last time, but let's wrap this up. Very simple. Or should I say turnaround? There is a picture. Okay, Expendables. We're talking about a female version of Expendables with Sigourney Weaver, right? Well, guess what? We all know Asylum Pictures. Picture we didn't mention last time was Sharknado. Remember?
Right.
We didn't mention that last time.
We're going to mention it too.
Okay.
Like it really has a big cult following.
Well, we know Sharknado 3 is coming around the corner, of course.
Yep.
They're going to take it to London. You love the movie, right?
Yeah, loved it. I thought the first one was hysterical. I said, I was like, wow, this is like candy. Give me more of this candy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a low budget flick, but at least what I love about the Sharknado film is not the topic or the subject. It's the film has a sense of humor about itself.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Some of these big budget movies don't have a sense of humor by themselves.
They don't.
But
some of my favorite lines in Sharknado, that when they were tweeting out in the Twitterverse, was like when Ian Ziering was saying, he's trying to do this rally cry to get all the villagers to fight against, in New York, to fight against the sharks. He goes, I know you're all scared. They're sharks. I'm scared too. Yeah. And that was his big battle cry.
Yeah, yep.
You see, they didn't take themselves seriously.
I'm looking forward to #3. It can't be any worse than a lot of these.
Oh, I love it. They already said that as soon as #2 came out, they said, yeah, #3 is in the works.
Yeah. Don't be surprised for #4 and 5.
Yeah.
But the guys who made this, Asylum Pictures, they went ahead, going back to Expendables, Sigourney Weaver, the female version of Expendables. Well, Asylum Pictures went and beat them to it. The picture is called Mercenaries. You can get this on Netflix and everywhere else on the planet. Video on demand, whatever.
It's already on Netflix?
It's already available. Mercenaries is the female version of Expendables. So, Asylum, before Pacific Rim came out, they already had a ripoff called Atlantic Rim. Big giant robots fighting giant monsters, should I say, and it was already on the Sci-Fi Channel. Well, this version of the Mercenaries has Zoe Bell from Grindhouse, Christina Loken from Terminator 3, Brigitte Nelson, Stallone's ex-wife, who took it for everything he got, Vivica A. Fox, and Cynthia Rothrock. Remember, she was a kickboxer, female kickboxer, and back in the 80s and everything?
Wow. Yeah, I remember her.
Yeah, okay.
She was like Dragon. One of them was called Dragon Girl or something like that.
Something like Last Dragon, something. She hardly does anything in here. She's the FBI agent that recruits all these girls to go after this gang leader or cocaine. Who cares?
Suicide mission. Huh?
Something like that, yeah. And let me tell you, except for Zoe Bell, Christina Logan, some of them, closer for Brigitte Nelson, that was hard to take.
Wow.
I really can't recommend this picture. Unless you're a Zoe Bell fan and Christina Logan, they were pretty good. They kicked ass. The picture, had no budget. And somebody should put a bag over Brigitte Nelson. Sorry, I know that's mean to say. Sorry.
So you said they should have CGI'd it.
Yeah. Oh God! Oh, they did a close up. Oh, that was tough to take. But Asylum is doing really good with ripping all these off. So
Nice.
as far as Mercenaries and as far as a female version of Expendables, they got beaten to it. So
I think I would have come up with a better name than Mercenaries. They could have called it, if it's suicide missions, they could have called it like the Yellow Canaries. You know, because the yellow canary is what you stick in the mine, and if there's too much carbon monoxide, the yellow canary that you stick down in the mine will die first. So then you know it's not inhabitable for humans.
oh, that Devo song, "Canary in the Coal Mine."
There you go.
Oh, the police. The police also did that song, "Canary in the Coal
so
Mine."
they call them the Yellow Canaries. They should have. I think that would have been a better title.
The plot couldn't have been no worse. Okay, another one that we missed last weekend. He Saw Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
I finally caught up. I thought it's one of the best movies of the year.
Yeah, but you didn't think it was too much of a tearjerker?
Nah, James Gunn did a great job. I had a little bit of everything, and also Groot was adorable at the end. He comes back. Oh, if you haven't seen it, spoiler alert. Sorry about that. But I got my Star Wars fix. Okay, and somebody asked me how's this going to fit in Star Wars thing? You didn't think it could fit into the Marvel universe? You said, right?
I felt there was. I don't understand. They have no powers in reality. I mean, how can they be in the Marvel universe? It was sort of like they were. If anything, they could be like an offshoot of Shield, but to the level of the Avengers some of them are invincible. You know, you can't kill the Hulk. You can't kill Thor. You know, these guys are invulnerable. It doesn't make sense. You're going to tell me there's somebody as strong as the weakest? I think the weakest member in the Avengers is either Black Widow, Hawkeye. What do you got?
Yeah.
Captain America. I know Captain America could get shot with a bullet, but compared to these other guys, none of these guys have the power that any of these guys have.
So what's the problem with Raccoon with an AK-47 machine gun? I think he fits right in.
I think he can probably kill you with melting your heart down.
No, that's Groot.
He's so adorable.
I am Groot. Okay, I got my Star Wars fix. I love the Guardians, and so let's catch up now with we covered Expendables and
the Turtles, Ninja Mutant Turtles.
The Turtles. Let's talk about the Turtles now. Talking about trying to get people into the box office.
Yes, sir.
You have a sample there.
All right, this is a sample of all what theaters are doing nowadays. Like I always say, my theater experience is the worst. Every time I go in there, for some reason or other, a person with a cell phone feels the need to sit one seat in front of me and turn it on, so it becomes like a torch. So my eyes get. I always find this guy. It's amazing. This person probably picks me out of the audience. Who the hell can I piss off? I'm gonna piss off that guy over there.
They find you. They see the show and they find you in the theater.
It always happens.
You always get the problem.
I don't know. I think like who
they
the hell
follow you. They stalk you.
Exactly. They say, who the hell can I screw over? I'm gonna screw over that guy right over there. He looks like one guy. Like if I get in the altercation with, no one would care about what happened to that guy. But this is what theaters are doing nowadays. They said that they can't make the money nowadays because, like, when I went to see Expendables matinee today, and even when I went to see a Teenage Mutant Turtles, you can count the heads. There were probably at least no more than 10 people in the audience. So now that they're trying to do whatever they can, like they give you these things. If you watch the first weekend of the Ninja Turtles, they gave you one of these free masks. If you were ever so lucky to happen to show up in the opening weekend, like they're all trying to do these things, like free masks, whatever you can do to get you to watch it. They'll give you Guardian of the Galaxy the first weekend. They'll give you a little Guardian of the Galaxy button. It's just amazing what they're doing. They have to bend over backwards. What next? Massages?
You look like a Ninja Turtle with the hat on.
Yeah, because like I say, Leonardo's my favorite Transformer.
You mean Turtle?
No, that's what I picked up on Twitter. Like this guy was just mocking it. I'm telling, like we were getting back to Ninja Turtles. It was 90 minutes, right?
Right.
90 minutes, and that's all I could pretty much say for it. I didn't care for it.
The movie was okay with me. I mean, I thought they were just like too supersized and everything like that. And again, rebooting the mythology again. That's getting tiring. But I got to admit, it was only 90 minutes. And
thank God.
Only 90 minutes, and it was a lot of action, so I put up with it. Do we have a phone caller?
No.
No? Okay.
But,
but I put it with it. Now, if they're going to have a sequel to this, it doesn't really matter. I mean, they could, they want to, fine with me. As long as it's no longer than 90 minutes. I was okay with the
Yeah.
movie. I don't know why Megan Fox still keeps getting work. I found nothing in this woman. I
She's
mean,
gorgeous. I'm sorry to tell you, but this Megan
don't-
Fox has to have the most beautiful face I've seen on the screen. That's all I can say about her.
really?
That's about it. I'm saying she has this beautiful head. Her head's beautiful, nice face. She's definitely got, as far as head and face go, she's a perfect 10.
I don't see anything in this, I don't see anything in this woman. I'm sorry. I just like
hey, I
she's
call
just
her like I
plain
see it.
Jane. She's just plain Jane, and so is the acting. I'm sorry.
I'm telling you, when she was on the screen and she started talking, I couldn't pay attention to what she was saying. I was like, what are you saying? I can't understand the words that are coming out of your mouth. Because she was so, yeah, she's just so hypnotizing. Her face is all perfect. She has like these eyelashes, I mean, that they glued in or something. But it was just amazing. She has like, I thought it was CGI. She had like this perfect head and this perfect face. I didn't, most of the time when she talked, I didn't even know what the hell she was saying. I was like, I can't even hear you. You're so beautiful. I thought that was great.
She's
Because the dialogue,
I'm sorry.
the dialogue
I
in this
don't know.
movie is terrible. The only one who could really act was Will Arnett
Okay.
from Arrested Development.
Funny. I'm not a fan of his, but I thought he did a great job doing
did.
the voice of Batman and the Lego Movie. I thought he was hysterical.
Oh, okay.
That he was really funny. That's right. Oh yeah, that's right. He played he played the boyfriend, the cameraman.
Yeah, he played the cameraman. He wasn't the boyfriend. He was just a cameraman.
He was the cameraman.
He wanted to
okay.
be the boyfriend, but he wasn't the boyfriend.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because that's Megan Fox. Damn. I mean, come on. Who's he? He's only Will Arnett.
There's only a Will Arnett. Well, who was in one of the top 10 movies of the year, Lego movie, as far as box office goes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, international box office, well, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is finally breaking the 500 million mark. Now, somebody been asking me what happened with Godzilla, and this is a funny situation that's going on. Now,
Is he doing well?
here's the thing. It finally crossed over since they made that announcement about Comic-Con made that announcement about the next Godzilla movie is going to have Mothra, Rodan, King Ghidorah. Now, the fans are pissed off because now they say that the next Godzilla movie is not going to be till 2018 because the director, Garth Edwards, is going to be doing Star Wars first. And they're kind of pushing that a little bit back. So that's going to push Godzilla back, which makes no sense. I mean, the Godzilla should be right around the corner. That should be the next project.
2018.
2018.
4 years from now.
4 years, which is
Jesus.
ridiculous. Now,
God.
what happened was Godzilla was hanging about 198 million at the box office, U.S. They made the announcement, boom, people went back and a lot of repeats. A lot of people refused to see Godzilla. Said, well, listen, now they're going to be with Dan Mothra and King Ghidorah. Boom, let's go see the movie after all. And all of a sudden, the movie has crossed the 200 million mark. And the same thing happened in international box office. It crossed the 500 million mark. But here's the weird thing about it. In Japan, the picture has only made like 20 million compared to Transformers has made over 50 million. Now, this is their homeboy, okay?
I guess they didn't like the way their homeboy was represented.
It's funny because Pacific Rim made over 100 million in China, okay? Now, Godzilla only made 80 million. Oh, well, close to 80 million, about 77
But I do have to say,
like
Pacific Rim was a better movie.
well, yeah, it was a better movie.
Great movie. I saw it. I even saw it on the airplane. It was brilliant. It was. I couldn't. This was like one of the second or third times I was seeing it.
Right.
It was great.
Well, so the only thing I can answer to that, Pacific Rim, just like Transformers 4, they highlighted Hong Kong as one of the big action sequences. Actually, the big action sequence in the Pacific Rim was when they fought in Hong Kong. Okay, so that really helped the box office over here. I guess in China, they still consider Godzilla kind of Japanese, even though it's American made, and China and Japan never got along together. Okay, because of World War II. That's a whole different ball game. That's another hour show altogether. A little history lesson, but. Again, in Japan itself, it's really kind of curious why it's only made like 20 million so far. It should have cleared at least 30 to 35 million by now.
No, I could understand if like true-hide Godzilla fans, don't believe in a film, they're not going to go. They're not going to go patronage the film.
Right.
Yeah. Why would they? It's like the whole Shogun controversy from back in the day when they made this movie called a TV series, miniseries show called Shogun.
Shogun.
And
Shiruma
the people
Fury.
in Japan hated it.
Yes.
Hated it. They panned it. It didn't do the record numbers of ratings from back in the day when people used to watch television.
Right. Right. That was written by James Clavell, who wrote a lot of World War II novels, King Rat, and I forgot the other one. And he wrote Shogun. Richard Chamberlain, who was a big a TV star back then, back in the early 80s, who played the Emperor, was Toshiro Mifune. Okay,
Right.
big Japanese actor, and the ratings were huge over here. It was a mini series that played on NBC.
Right.
It played like a whole week, 1 hour every night. As a matter of fact, it got re-released on Blu-ray. So you want to see old 18th century old Japan feudal. We call it
Japan.
Japan, right? It got released on Blu-ray a couple of weeks ago. I definitely recommend it. But then again. When it was shown in Japan, they just attacked it, saying, "Well, that was an American version. It was written by an American novelist."
Right.
And a lot of people don't know that James Clavell was a prisoner of war in Japan. So
Right.
he had a lot of upfront knowledge of Japanese culture and stuff like that. But Japan refused to acknowledge it.
Yeah,
No,
they panned the TV series.
they panned
They killed it.
because it's an American point of view. It was American production.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm saying. Maybe it draws it back maybe to Godzilla. They just felt that this wasn't to the level of what Japan would have produced to make Godzilla. Maybe they got to hire a Japanese writer or Japanese director to really make Godzilla come through.
But the thing is, Toho doesn't have the money, the $200 million like they used to make these kind of pictures.
No, I'm saying they should just hire a Japanese director or producer and bring him over, and maybe he'll understand Godzilla better than the American director.
Trivia, one of the producers of the Godzilla 2014 was the director who did Godzilla vs. Smog Monster. And Toho at that time fired this guy. Said, you know, your Godzilla is fighting a big giant turd. You ruined Godzilla. You would never direct another Godzilla movie. You're fired. Don't ever come back to this franchise. This was back in 1972.
Jesus.
And about 10 years ago, he put a little 3D footage of Godzilla. And the American audiences, one of the studio heads noticed that. And he got final laugh because he turned out to be one of the producers of Godzilla 2014. It took him from 1972 to get back at Toho Studios to say, I did my version of Godzilla. How you like me now?
Exactly.
Revenge is sweet in this business.
Yes.
But remember this here. Godzilla Final Wars bombed in Japan. So don't be surprised. Okay, we're going to be wrapping up.
Yes.
We're going to be back in 2 weeks, the Labor Day weekend.
Yes.
Don't forget my blog page. Okay.
Buy your DC DVDs. They're great. I just recently see Justice League War, and Batman just came out, Assault on Arkham. Best films ever for DVD.
And Marvel still can't get it right
Yeah,
as
they
far
can't
as
get it right.
animation goes.
Right.
Everybody, see you in 2 weeks. Thanks for tuning in. See you then.